What's going on, guys? This is George, aka the Hypothetical Gamer here, and today I wanted to bring you guys a locals feature match, or well, not really a feature match. It's a match I'm featuring, so you can call it that. But this match is a very tough matchup for my deck. Obviously, you guys know I'm on Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. I still think that is the better build than the trap variant or the zoo variant, just because this is what's gonna net you the best follow up. I think the zoo variant after Bear Bloom comes out is gonna be the best variant, but this I think has the best follow up. And then the other builds kind of play like Salamangreats, where if they just break your turn one board, you're top decking and you're probably gonna lose. So that's how I feel about it personally. So that's why I'm still on this variant. Um, Regardless, you'll see that against this matchup, it's kind of difficult. So all the Draco spells and traps, if you don't know, they all have effects whenever they hit graveyard. So if any of the Draco spells or traps are sent to the graveyard, they can destroy cards on the field. Of course, they target the spells, destroy spells or traps on the field, and then the traps destroy monsters. So you're going to see my opponent opens very strong. He opens Dragonic Diagram and pops his set Apocalypse here to go ahead and add Dynamite Knight, which is already really insane. Dynamite Knight is at 1 for a reason. It can actually just activate your True Draco spells and traps directly from deck. So you can activate your Apocalypse, and Apocalypse during damage step just literally saves your life every single time. Plus, they can't be destroyed by battle once because Diagram is on the field. So he activates Heritage, draws a card, and then he activates Pot of Duality, which is actually really insane. So with this, even with the new changes to make this stronger against control decks, since he adds Ice Dragon's Prison here, I immediately scoop. So I don't know what his set cards are. Regardless, he's going to have two sets. So he's going to have Ice Dragon's Prison and then something else. And then he's going to be able to gain advantage the second I activate a card off of Dynamite Knight. So my deck is currently not equipped for anything like this. So what I do here is I simply just go ahead and I scoop. I think I opened, it was Barrier Statue, Stormwinds, I opened Rescue Cat, and I opened like Kit Karas. Which if I opened Kit Karas, my opponent just Ice Dragon's Prisons my Karas, and I don't really have a good extension play because I'm only getting two bodies engraved for that. So if that's a Judgment, or if that is an Infinite Impermanence, or which is the only hand trap they can play. If he's playing the Demise variant, which he doesn't have an extra deck, as you can see, so he's probably on Demise. There's so many different things, so I simply just want to go ahead and have as many cards as possible. So in this matchup, I am siding in Twin Twisters, I'm siding in my Harpy's Feather Dust or my Red Reboot, my Pankratops, and 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Now, the reason why I'm siding in the Ash is because if you're going second up against an established board for True Draco, they can't gain advantage. So they have to gain advantage off a few activating cards, and they can't do that. So I make a very, very big brain read, and I go ahead and instead of going first here and letting him break my entire board with his Draco spells and traps, which is super easy to do, um, I end up going second instead and attempt to draw into one of my side cards. So I have a single Pot of Prosperity in there to help me do so. So I'm essentially running 9 side deck cards because that really lets you see your side deck every single time, to be honest. So that's what I do here, and it treats me well, actually. So, if for those of you that don't know, or sorry, we're just chatting here midway through the match right now. We're just chatting about prior matchups. I think we chatted about Dragoonity earlier. There were a couple different things. Chatting about like how I'm actually like breaking it in my pants right now, just because I was not expecting this by any means. This is like top 3 hardest matchups for me because then you have this, you have Shaddolls are pretty difficult, and then on top of that you have Grem Maju, which they just slap a Godarla down and break the whole board. So That's what they do, or they super poly you for Almarduke, which is pretty nuts. So on top of that, with this deck, I changed up a couple things. So I'm gonna do an updated deck profile, but I added in Apex Avian to the main, and I added in the Pot of Prosperity. So I cut those two, or I cut Book of Moon for those two. I also added in Monster Reborn. Just once again, I wanted to have extenders, and on top of that, I wanted to have better follow up. I wanted to have interruption. In this meta, going into Cobalt, Sparrow to search Nerval and during the end phase isn't as good as an Apex Avian for a negate and just holding resources. So I'd rather just do that because this is a very control based meta. So you're gonna see in this game he opens up pretty strong too. He opens up like 2 monsters. He opens up couple back row, which is really what you want to open with. So he opens up 3 back row. And 2 cards in hand, which is actually a Dynamite Knight, if I'm correct. So here, I'm kind of opening weird, and then I have to let the jig up. I have to let him know what I'm playing, which is fine. So I activate Tenki. He starts joking with me like, yeah. So Zoo or Tri-Brigade or Zoo Tri-Brigade or Bird, and he's like, yep, Bird up. So I add the Fractal, and I'm kind of laughing because I'm like, oh, you don't understand what's in my hand here. Which I don't understand what's in his hand because it doesn't really matter too much. So I go ahead and add the Fractal here. And then, of course, I activate Fractal effects. Just can't remember. Oh, no, I activate Pot of Prosperity. I already have a Twin Twisters in hand here. So right now, I'm actually banishing the Nightingale, these Zeus, and I can't remember what else I'm banishing here. I'm still new to Pot of Prosperity, so my banishes might not be the best. But I go ahead and I know I banished the Nightingale and Zeus just because I don't have that play in hand, and if I'm already establishing board state, I don't see that play coming up. So he lets it go through, and I reveal a Nerval, Cobalt Sparrow, and a Twin Twisters, which I already have them. By the way, shout out to my buddy Dom for giving me German supers. I like German cards. Anyway, I take the Nerval because I already have the Twin in hand, and I think at this point, I know those aren't judgments set. So I decide instead to go ahead and just shotgun the Twin Twisters here. Because once again, I don't know what he has in hand. I don't want him to go Tribute Summon over Apocalypse effect, pop a monster I summon. I want him to go ahead. I want to force out that interruption right now, or I want to get rid of that interruption as soon as possible. So I go ahead and I activate Twin Twisters instead now. Or no, I activate Fractal now. Actually, Fractal effect. I think I send Nerval here. Nerval just gets another search. So that's what I do here. Unless, no, he didn't have like Call by the Grave or anything. I don't know why I thought he had that. But, so I go ahead and add Kit, and then I forget what I do from here. From here's where I activate Twin Twisters. You can see I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about a lot of things. I talk to myself a lot whenever I'm trying to think things through. Just because it helps me visualize everything, and it helps me visualize whatever plays I'm going to make. So from here, I go ahead and I hit a Metaverse, and I hit an Apocalypse, which he just chains. So the Twin Twisters does effectively nothing, which is okay. So I go ahead and discard Gamma because I'm like, yeah, Gamma's never coming up. I shouldn't have had this. I think Gamma was fine in case he started putting like a monster on board and then he started chaining it. And I think that's why I wanted the Gamma, because that way I could at least do it. So I go ahead and hit 2 back row. You see it's Metaverse, Chainlink 1 or Chainlink 2 Metaverse, and then he goes ahead and activates Apocalypse to Tribute Summon. So, or is that Return to Tribute Summon? I can't remember. It's one of the traps. So he goes ahead and Tribute Summons on my turn, and then does it for Dynamite Knight. And then he just adds a diagram in hand, and I'm thinking, please don't Mystic Mine me. If you Mystic Mine me, I lose. So I was like super scared, but no, he had a diagram. So he's a chill Yu-Gi-Oh player. He doesn't use degenerate cards like Mystic Mine. We're not using any degenerate cards in this match. I didn't use Barrier Statue. I merely discarded it. All right, that's how this goes. But
Like I said, this is just a rough match.
um,
This is the worst. This is
here I go ahead and I think I send. I forget what I do here. Um, I normal summon one is what I think I do.
so rough. I have to clear it.
I'm trying to remember how this game goes. Yeah, I normal summon a kit, and then I attempt to use kit effect. And I banish the two that are in my graveyard. I always go for double Dragon Lords going second here. You'll see that a bunch this game. The reason why is because if he activates like there could be only one or something, I can go ahead and return it to hand, and then that way it doesn't really matter. So I don't need to deal with there can be only one if I can get Apex Avian during end step on my opponent's turn, and then once they activate it, they can't really do much. Sorry about the yawning. I'm doing this as soon as I wake up, of course.
That is 100% fine with me.
But yeah, he activates. There can be only one here, and I'm like, sure. So I make sure that I'm normal summoning this instead of the other fractal. I think I add in hand here. Just once again, just to play around this card. This card doesn't do too much. Plus, the Tenki that I used, I can use essentially like Magician Souls, where I can just send it for free bounces, which is real nice. He activates Apocalypse here. Apocalypse halves all my monsters' attack um, during damage step permanently, which is really strong. And then you could also use it to pop the Draco spells and traps to also deal with threats on your opponent's board during damage step, which is really difficult to deal with.
Apocalypse during damage deposition.
So as you can tell, I'm really thinking here. Like I'm sweating. I'm sweating at my palms during this match just because it's really difficult. But this is how you stomp. This is how you win those hard matchups. You think bigger brain than your opponent. Like their brain be like this when your brain be like this, like ginormous. Um, so that is how you win these difficult matchups. Is you make big brain moves that help you win these things. So
Target TCU.
I target TCBU here, which just allows me to play longer. And then I go ahead and I summon out Fairjets.
Kid effect.
And that allows me to go ahead and extend further. Like I said, really that is just a body you step through. So he goes ahead and uses Apocalypse to tribute summon Maiden. And I'm like, yep, pop my Fairjet. Pop my Fairjet. This is where it hurts. But really, this is not the end of the game because he can't establish enough damage on board to actually kill me. So I'm kind of looking like, yep, this is my fate. He asked them, and well, not really. So I go and set one, and I just tell him to pass. I set Called by the Grave. And I'm just like, come on, man, this is so difficult. I look so defeated at this point. He goes Diagram, destroys his own TCBoo, and I'm like, wait, there might be a chance. There might be a chance if he doesn't try to lock me under TCBoo because he realized I got rid of my out. Because that is really my only out to TCBoo. Is if I make the double Dragon Lords and bounce it. I would have to normal summon, or I'd have to like normal summon a beast and then banish 4 for sure egg, which is my only way to deal with it. So he goes ahead and adds Disciples. Um, Disciples, obviously, so you can pretty much grind forever. gets duality, and at this point I don't scoop. I don't scoop until I know he has enough damage on board. He has Ignis Heat, so on my turn, he's able to go ahead and chain to my effects to add 3 cards. Um, Add a monster, a spell, and a trap, or actually just activate the trap from deck, which is insane. So he's able to activate a trap like Apocalypse, have my monsters attack, add a monster, tribute summon on my turn, and then on top of that, add a spell like Heritage so he can get more advantage. So it's pretty insane here. But really, he doesn't end up killing me here because he can't establish enough on board. So he just attacks me for, I think it's 40 something. I just can't remember how much. I go down to, I can't remember what their attacks are. I know Dynamite Knight is at like 27 right now. Because of that, truly this board state is really good. So he gets rid of a Call by the Grave, which doesn't matter. I wasn't keeping track of life, so that was pretty stupid of me. But I'm definitely at like critical health at this point. But that's fine. My graveyard is loaded, so I'm actually in a very strong spot, and I have 3 cards in hand. I think I have multiple names, so what I do here is I make sure to make sure he can chain as little as possible here. So I think I top deck Dino Wrestler Pankratops for turn, and I just want to normal summon that. Or, sorry, special summon that. So I go ahead and special summon the Pankratops as my first move. Just to get that interruption out of my hand and make sure it stays out of hand. Then I go ahead and normal summon something else. And as I've said before, I started playing in this format. So I know like a lot of the plays and everything. So what I do is I banish 3 for Nerval. The reason why is because I'm going to make access code here and clear the rest of his monsters so he stops gaining advantage. And then I also get to search off Nerval for a Karas. Karas can extend my plays further, and I can go ahead and break his board even more. So that is why I'm doing the plays that I am. So I force him to Apocalypse so he doesn't die due to access code Pankratops and a Karas effect, or else he would. So I go ahead and I summon out Tri-Brigade Rugal. Which Rugal, if you didn't know, actually has another effect where if it's sent to the graveyard, your opponent's monsters lose 200 attack for each monster type you control. So it does not need to be Tri-Beast. So I missed that effect, which might have actually came up. I don't know. But I go and immediately link those off into access code. So I go Chainlink 1 Nerval, Chainlink 2 access code, target my Rugal. So I get that search. I actually forget to search the card. Big Pepega moment, I know. But it's fine because I declare it and I literally just forget to search it. Because I'm using popping stuff here and I literally just forget about it. So I go ahead and add the card now. And the reason why I do this once again is because you can't respond to access code. So since you can't respond to access code, it makes it so he literally cannot do anything at this point. He can't go ahead and gain advantage. He doesn't have cards in hand. So all he has is that Apocalypse. So if I can establish like maybe 2 interruptions on board, then I'm in a very, very strong spot. And I can just kill him the next turn. So once again, I go ahead and I'm trying to think things through because I'm trying to think if I could game him here. I'm trying to think if I could clear the whole board. I'm trying to think of what I can do. So I go ahead and I start doing some mathematics. I go ahead, like I'm punching numbers into the calculator. I am literally Dexter from Dexter's Lab right here. I am using my number pad like it's, I don't know where I'm going with this reference, but I am trying to punch as many numbers in. If he apocalypses me here, I have 5150. I'm at for damage wise after I clear his whole board, and then I just need to establish some more. I physically cannot, but I can establish more damage on board. Once again, sorry about the timer. I just now realized that. I'm trying to figure out a way that that timer can stay on screen better. So if you can help me out with that, let me know. I'm just taking a screen capture of my of Chrome here, and hopefully that Hopefully that's better. But as you can see, I'm thinking through it. I have an Earth and I have a Wind engrave. So, but that limits the amount that I have engrave. I think I have 3 Tri-Beasts and I have an Earth and a Wind. So I actually go ahead and go Access Code pop both monsters here. So, come on, where do I do it? And once again, I just pop both monsters to make sure that he cannot go ahead and gain more advantage. Because if he's able to get like a tribute summon, he deals with the access code. He deals with whatever interruption I want to put up. If he gets a spell, he's able to start gaining advantage. He's able to get stuff to pop with his diagram, so he can get more cards on field. He's able to get so many different things. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the best line of play, and then I think it through. Cause then I think through. I can go ahead and just summon Harpy Conductor, and then use the Chaos and Harpy Conductor to make some more, which is exactly what I do here. So I'm like, all right, I got this. So I'm just trying to think things through once again. And I'm not really slow playing at this point because we scooped so early in game one, or I scooped so early in game one, that we have so much time on our hands, and it's not like we're playing prank kids to the point where we could just slow play our opponent and just burn in time. So we're just gonna go ahead and at this point, just once again thinking through everything, trying to figure it out, talking about how bad of a matchup this is for me and how free it kind of is for him. But really, he doesn't understand it's free because I am bigger brain than you are, sir. I have galactic brain. So I go ahead and start popping his cards here. I banish the double Dragon Lords and I banish the Regal to go ahead and pop his monsters. I was just asking for some clarification. That's what it was. I was asking for clarification on diagram if it's only from battle or if it's also from card effects. And then I go ahead and I go Karas discard Barrier Statue because Barrier Statue does nothing here. And then I'm telling him no, I'm not going to be able to game you here just because I don't have the resources. So I go and banish some more, or I go and banish Barrier Statue and Nerval to summon the Harpy Conductor, and I enter battle. I hit him with a total of 7,050 damage is what I hit him with the total of, and he goes down to 950, which this is almost enough to kill him, but I physically could not put more damage on board. If I tried, the only way I could have is if I had Form Shields for Shureg, which definitely would have dealt with him. But I'm thinking like I'm actually in a very strong position now because the game state is so simplified. I can go ahead and just gain advantage off of my Simorg Link, and I could just go ahead and eventually grind out the game there and kill you, which is fine. I have a Pankratops on board, which can pop his diagram whenever he goes to search something. And I have an Apex Avian, which I'm going to get during end step. So that's all I care about right now. 100% all I care about. So I go ahead and Apex Avian effects. During end step, I go ahead and just summon out a copy of... I just go ahead and summon my Apex Avian. And once again, this is why I'm playing Apex Avian. Because it's a grindier meta. You're seeing a lot more trap cards. You're seeing a lot more interruption through that or through those methods, and then Apex Avian is what deals with those trap cards. The deck is really good on its own with dealing with Eldritch cards. Literally, normal summon Barrier Statue deals with the great majority of them, and then you just keep attacking with Barrier Statue. But whenever you start getting Ice Dragon's Prisons, whenever you start getting Solemn Strike's Broken Lines, from what Pack was playing, whenever you start getting all kinds of stuff like that, that's where Apex Avian really comes into play because you're able to deal with all that. Not Solemn Strike, obviously, but you're able to deal with anything that's not a counter trap, and that's what matters. So he goes to activate Diagram. I chain Pankratops effect to destroy his Diagram. He sets one, and then I go ahead and I just draw for turn. I forget about some Morg effects, but I just go ahead and I pop his other card, I believe it is, with it, or
I am very
with
surprised that I even won that. Holy crap.
access code, and then he immediately scoops. So I'm like, holy crap! I'm thinking, wow, all right, finally, this is so difficult. You can see like
Legendary monsters,
I am really breaking it right now, because I'm sweating. Like there's so much on the line with this matchup, but it is fine. Um, so
no, I should have used the avian
Oh, I went down to 2600. That's what happened. I just forgot to hit transition. So I was trying to edit my stream midway through this all and whatnot. I have no clue what he's doing here. So this is where siding comes into play really weird. Um, when it comes to this, I have no clue what he's doing. Um,
kill is break the board.
he's playing True Draco, which can easily clear uh, the whole Tri-Brigade, or the whole Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade board. Easily. So I'm trying to think if he's going to force me first or second, because either way, he's in a strong position. He says otherwise, he's actually in a strong position because he can just clear my board. It takes 2 monsters or what have you. If I can't make the bearer statue linked, he just auto clears that. There's so many different things that happens where it just clears my board. So I go ahead and I side out. I side out 2 cards. I side out my Harpy's Feather Duster because that's not good going first. That's not a quick play. And I side out. I forget what else I side out, but I side them out for 2 copies of Tri-Brigade Revolt. And I do see one of those copies of Revolt. And the reason why is because that card against this matchup is good going first or second. If he interrupts me too much and I have a loaded Graveyard or Banish pile, I can just go ahead and set Tri-Brigade Revolt and then just play on his turn or play during the end phase, do whatever I need to do. And then that way, I remove threats off his board, I gain the advantage that I need, and then I can just go ahead and kill him from there. So that's why I do it that way. But he kind of bricks. He opens like Judgment, Heritage, and like Ignis or something. He opens really awkwardly. He opens like 3 monsters, which is really unheard of. It's like not opening a Prank Kids monster in Prank Kids or a way to get to one, which if you've ever seen that, I don't understand how that works. So, once again, I have no clue what he's gonna do here. So he actually decides to go first, which is not bad. Once again, I have the ashes and I have like a couple different things. I tell him to cut half top 7. I always roll dice, just because I'm really bad at picking numbers randomly. So I always just go ahead and roll dice just to help or just to deal with the randomness and whatnot. So he just tells me to cut half top 3, and then or half top 5, sorry. So he tells me to cut half top 5, and then we're off to the races here. So let's go ahead and draw 5 cards. As you see, I'm really fidgety whenever I play too. It just once again helps me play through. So he activates Heritage, tributes over his Heritage for Ignis, sets 1 passes, and I'm like, oh Jesus, thank God. So the reason, once again, you'll see right here is why I have the ashes going in. So I go ahead and activate Chaos Effect, discarding Kit, and then he chains Ignis, and I chain Ash. Ignis stops him from de-breaking his hand, or Ash stops him from de-breaking his hand. Ash stops him from adding cards. Ash stops him from doing so many things here, and that is simply the reason why. So I go ahead and I send Nervball off this Chaos. And then I add a copy of Fractal, just once again to have another name in hand. And then I go ahead and I go Kara's Effect Banish 2 for another double Dragon Lords here. Just to deal with this Ignis, get it out of hand. Get it out of there, do whatever. And then I forget what I do here. Yeah, I banish 2 for this because he would have shotgunned the Ice Dragon's Prison probably here just to deal with that, and then get rid of a bunch of stuff in my graveyard. So Right here, I'm really thinking, just because this is such a difficult position. I don't know what that set is. So I'm thinking if it's TC Boo, he wouldn't have activated it here. He would have let me go ahead and bounce something first. So I'm thinking maybe that's his play. Maybe that's what he wants to do. So I go ahead and I summon double Dragon Lords here, and then I think I used double Dragon Lord's effect to bounce his Ignis Heat. Yeah, I used double Dragon Lord's effect. I guess not. Once again, I'm really thinking this through like a ton. Real quick while I'm thinking this through. If you guys are enjoying this video, feel free to hit that like button and join the Discord down below. I've really been trying to I've really been trying to hang out with my community a lot more. I want to do like community game nights with stuff like um, with stuff like Jackbox and whatnot. I have a ton of fun playing that. So if you guys want to play, just go ahead and hit me up. Just go ahead and join the Discord. We can have a heck of a time, dude. But I go ahead and go double Dragon Lord's effect to bounce his Ignis back to hand by discarding the Turquoise Warbler. And once again, I didn't want to start Fractal Warbler combo just because for one I couldn't. I had to go ahead and search the Fractal off of Kit or off of Nerval, and then on top of that, if that's TC Boo, that combo loses to it. I have to commit so many resources. So here I literally just go ahead and I attack for 16. I didn't know what that set was once again. It was actually Solemn Judgment. So if he Solemn Judgments me, I could actually kill him here. But he goes ahead and I think he Judgments my Fair Jet because he sees what play I'm trying to go for here. But really it doesn't matter too much. So
End of battle?
Yeah, sure.
I'm trying to remember what I do here.
Yeah. What do you think? I play evenly match going first?
Man, I don't
And I'm like, I have no clue what that set is, so I just go end of battle. And we're kind of dying here. He's like, whoa, wait, you think that's an evenly matched? And I'm like, yeah, definitely. That's definitely an evenly matched set. So I have no clue, and I'm giving him the chance to use it. So he activates Judgment, and he goes down. It's lower than 4K. I can't. Once again, I can't remember math right now. It's something like 29. No, it's 39. No, he goes down from 68. Yeah, that's 29. So he goes down to 2,900. Once again, I just can't math. So because I already attacked with a thing. So I go ahead and I use Fractal. Fractal effect. I banish.
back to fractal.
I think I just banished 3 for cost. And then I go ahead and get the Apex Avian here. Just because, once again, Barrier Statue is really bad. I didn't side out the Barrier Statue, by the way. Just because Barrier Statue can have some niche applications. If he's siding in stuff like Nibiru and whatnot, that card's pretty insane. So I go ahead and I just go ahead and I set 2 cards and I go end phase Smorg to go ahead and summon the Barrier Statue Stormwinds. And I set Tri-Brigade Oath and Tri-Brigade Revolt. For those of you that don't know, Oath has an effect on field where it's called the Haunted. You target a Tri-Beast Link monster you control, and then you special summon a monster from your hand or graveyard with a different type. So he goes and sets 1. During his end phase, I activate Revolt, and I summon back a Fairjet, and then he goes ahead and scoops. And he had 3 monsters in hand. I am absolutely shaking at this point. I am so stoked that I won that. And I'm like, dude, that sucks so much. However, this match was insane. I want to thank you all for watching this.
I'm so glad I
That is how you outplay opponents with mind games. That is how you outplay them. You can see how excited I am right now with that. You can see how happy I am to have just actually conquered that match, and how all of those big brain plays that I made actually brought me to the win there. So scooping game 1 immediately so my opponent doesn't know what I'm playing. Siding for going second, and just siding in a bunch of blowout cards. against the deck and siding in just a bunch of interruptions. So because I know how his deck plays, so I go ahead and just side in against it, side in whatever hate that I can that's in my side deck. And then game 3, I get lucky that he bricks, but even if he didn't brick, I think I was still in a strong position with Revolt and Oath and all these other cards. So really, it wouldn't have mattered. I think I still would have won the game 3 even if he hadn't bricked. So I am super, super happy that that happened. And he was trying to go first, activate Imperial Iron Wall and Domain of the True Monarch, so I literally couldn't do anything. Which I'm like, yeah, that's a blowout, especially with Judgment. Like, I have to open double Twin Twisters, and at that point, I'm getting rid of 4 cards to deal with 2. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. I want to give a big shout out to Paisano for rating me yesterday. Dude, thank you so much. You made my day. You made my night. You literally, oh my god, that was amazing. But, no, once again, go ahead and join the Discord down below. Feel free to subscribe, like the video. Check out my Twitch, where I do play consistently and where I do try and play test. We're actually going to be switching over to Dragonity soon. So stay tuned for that, and have a nice day, everyone.